PR Connections Radio presents Classy Communications provides public relations and marketing solutions for businesses, professionals, and nonprofit organizations. They can deliver the true meaning of your business with press releases, social media marketing, web development, email marketing, book publishing, and much more. Wherever your potential clients are, they can help you connect with them. Visit classycommunications.net to learn more about their suite of services that can help your business stand out from the rest. Classy Communications is your solution for business success.
Welcome back to the PR Connections Memorial Day Weekend Marathon, and we are nearing the end of our marathon, but there will be one last podcast that we're going to air, and it is JP's Teachers Lounge with my good friend James Pasudich and his guest, Jim Blockey. Welcome to the marathon, James, and good to see you, Jim. It's been a long time.
Been a while. How you doing, guy?
Fantastic. I'm really looking forward to hearing the things that the two of you talk about. And so now, James, you've had a while to experience what it's like to be a podcaster. What's your experience with JP's Teachers Lounge?
Oh, it's been great. And I want to take this time to show my appreciation for having this channel, because it's just great to express myself and do it in a constructive way, and it helps my speaking. It kind of forces me to be more resourceful, looking for interesting guests and preparing questions and preparing an interesting discussion. So it's added to I guess my toolbox, I guess you'd say. So it's been fun.
Yes, I've really enjoyed watching your growth as a podcaster, James. And I guess for you, Jim, you're running for office right now. I would imagine you have a lot of opportunities to do these types of things. Have you been doing a lot of interviews on podcasts as you've been in your candidacy? Yeah,
several podcasts. I was on the Teachers Lounge with James before. And so, I've been doing a lot of these things, and a lot of, in-person speaking and that kind of thing. I love it. It's just great. It's great to be able to go out and talk to the people, hear what their problems are, and see if I can, put some at ease.
Yeah, and I think I had Jim on my radio. I mean, when I was in AM radio. I mean, this is way back when I think did you come on my AM radio show many years ago when I just got started?
It was for I think it was for a seminar I was doing on communications and about the Christian foundation of our nation, and the seminar that I was doing for it. I think I was on that show. That was a lot of years ago. Too many that I want to talk
about. Yeah, well, none of us are getting any younger, Jim, and I'm going to exit because I know the two of you have a lot to talk about. Please welcome James Pasudich and Jim Blockey with JP's Teachers Lounge.
Thank you. All right, thanks everyone for tuning in to JP's Teachers Lounge, Episode 1, Season 15, and this is the finale of the marathon today. I am blessed to have a returned guest, Mr. Jim Blockey, running for U.S. Congress to represent Nevada's District 1. And Jim, today I want to talk about a few things, but first thing I want to talk about is milestones. This year, there are many milestones, but I'm going to save the most important until the last. I'm just finishing up my 30th year of teaching. This year, I'm having my 40th high school reunion. But more importantly, this year is our sesquicentennial celebration of this blessed nation.
That's right.
And it's still a work in progress. Sesquicentennial, 250th anniversary of the founding of this nation. What will it mean to you personally, and I guess even professionally, to join the Congress in this milestone mark, 250 years?
Well, the first thing I want to do is I want to give all glory to the Father God, the Father of Jesus Christ, because without him, we wouldn't have this country. Without him, I wouldn't be here. And to be in Congress on its 250th year would be an honor. But unfortunately, the thing is I have to look at my country 250 years later, and look at in the last 50 years how it's fallen. Its morality has just gone to a new low. How our schools are terrible, and you know as well as I do that what's going on in our schools is it's next to terrible. It's just terrible. And so what I would like to do is when I get back up there is to make sure that the next 50 years before we get to our 300th, our third century, which probably won't be around by then, but I want to make sure that the kids are growing up in the same country that we had, 50, 100 years ago, a country that had respect for each other, had respect for our authorities, had morality of some sort, not of some sort, but a morality that was designed by our founding fathers. George Washington said in his farewell address to the country, "Reason and experience both forbid us to believe you can have a national morality without a biblical principle." And look what's happened to America since it threw God out of the country and threw God out of its government. The morality it has none. We have no morality. Morality is whatever you feel is okay. And I think it's okay to slap this guy upside the head. That's my morality, so I can do it. And who's to question it? It's okay to steal as long as you don't steal too much because I'm hungry, I need it. It's not, let me find a job and go work for it. It's just terrible what's going on. So as much of an honor as it would be to be up there, I just feel like it was my generation that really has let this country down by forgetting its foundation, forgetting what we're all about. And I want to thank you too for having me do your commencement speech at your Christian school, which is, the kids were great up there. And that's what one of the things I had to do was apologize to them for my generation and even my father's generation for allowing this to take place in our country, to where we don't have God anymore, so we don't have any morality. Look at how we treat the police. Look at how we teach authority. You remember when we were teaching in the public schools, we got treated like dirt by the students, and the principals didn't do anything to back us. This needs to stop. This needs to change so we can get our country back, so we don't end up a socialistic country, which is the way we're headed.
Yeah. No, I agree, and it's very important to be self-critical or self-criticizing. You have to be your own worst critic, and you don't want to beat yourself up either. You don't want to beat up your generation, because there's good and bad of everything. I do remember one thing I believe you said this again, our days back in at teaching in public school. You said that you would be surprised if the founding fathers were to return.
We're leaving in a few minutes. Okay, I'm on the radio. I'm on the radio right now. Yeah, thank you, sir. Okay, I'm sorry. We are at the Atomic Motors place, and we got people, constantly coming up and harassing me, and so I apologize for that.
It's okay. It's part of everything.
It's great out here. The Atomic Motors. What they're doing it's a celebration of the 250th anniversary. Is what they're doing out here. It's a lot of fun. And
I remember you said that you would be surprised if the founding fathers were to return now, that the Constitution wouldn't be reviewed every 15 or 20 years. Do you remember saying that?
If our founding fathers returned right now, they would be probably they would probably be arming themselves. I mean, it's that bad. I mean, the people don't really know what the Constitution stands for. I don't think we teach it. We don't teach its meaning, and they don't really know what the Constitution really is all about. Like freedom. What is freedom? Freedom isn't freedom for the government to take care of you. That's not freedom. That's the antithesis of freedom. That's where someone else is in charge of you. You're basically a slave. And we have like 30% of the people in this country who are being fed, clothed, and boarded by the government. 25, 30% of the people. That's a lot of people. And that's not even including a lot of the illegal aliens that are out there who are living off of us as well.
Yeah, it's, again, a lot of it is, it seems like we have different understanding of the Constitution, and it should be you're free to create your own life and not to rely on the government. But you're right, there's a lot of twisting. Some people always try to justify what their actions. But for me,
that what you said right there is so true. That's what the devil is the greatest at. He is great at giving you an excuse or a justification for doing evil. And I've heard that in this run so much, because my primary candidate, the one I'm running against in the primary, she's in the sitting state senator. And she's voted for the last 3 abortion bills. She's voted in favor of them, but she has a reason. She has an excuse. One of those bills was so detrimental, it basically put Roe v. Wade back in the books for abortion. Anybody can have an abortion now. The difference is they just have to come to Nevada, which is making Nevada the abortion capital of the country, which I don't think there's a lot of people who want to be known for that. But that's what that's your justification and word. And I'm sorry for interrupting you, but that's just so true. We justify things that are not good.
Well, I mean, one of the things I want to talk about is, I'm looking to support anybody who at least tries to do 3 things: vote for term limits, whatever those term limits are. If it's 2 terms for a senator, 3 terms for a rep, whatever, as long as it's, open primaries, and the Citizens United thing. I don't know if there's probably 2 sides to everything, but the whole idea of someone being able to donate as much as they can to a candidate only creates just too much corruption.
Well, yeah, that's actually illegal, but there's ways around it. What you can do is, if you have a lot of money, you can put money into PACs, and several different PACs, or you can give thousands of dollars to other people, and then all those people will give you will donate to a campaign. So let's say I give 10 people $10,000, they can donate that money to a campaign.
Right.
And so really it's my money. And that's what needs to stop. I understand you there. And as far as open primaries, I mean, I'm not for that. I want Republicans to decide on who's going to be the Republican candidate. I don't want Democrats voting for who's going to represent a Republican in a particular race. I don't want a Democrat deciding whether it's myself or my opponent that's going to run against Dina Titus in the general election.
Well, that's a fair point, but I'm going to push back a little bit. And well, I don't know if it's pushing back, but I'm a registered. I went back to being a registered Republican only so that I can vote in the primary, because you have to be a registered Republican or a Democrat to vote in the primary. But the fastest growing political party, it's not really even an official party, is independents. And independents are, again, because both people are fed up with the Republicans and the Democrats, because it just seems like as soon as someone's in power, they abuse it. Now, I believe me, I've had enough discussions or heated discussions with my Democrat friends, and my one best friend. I said, I don't want to talk about politics anymore because we're going to lose our friendship. But I told him, I said, look, 89% of the counties in the 2024 election moved. Now, not all the Republicans didn't win 89% of the counties, but 89% of the counties of all the counties in the nation moved away from the Democrats because people were not buying what they're selling. And right now, the midterm does not look good for the Republicans. And well, depending on what you say, because there seems to be a back and forth. I want someone to stand for principle, not an agenda. Yes, I know everyone has a personal agenda, but when we just saw what happened to Thomas Massey, now, whatever your opinion is about Thomas Massey, I like him because, again, I'm more of a libertarian. But depending on what you say about Thomas Massey, Trump moved heaven and earth to unseat him. What is the real? I wonder what the real reason is that he was unseated. Is it because he's in the way of Trump? What's Trump's real agenda? That's what I now I don't know what it is. I really truly don't know. I've had an open mind about things.
Mm-hmm.
I've had an open mind about things, but it's to the point now where I am officially I do not like Trump anymore. Now I'm gonna he's still our president, and I'll support him and I'll pray for him to do the right things, but I'm not very happy, not necessarily with the Republican Party, but with Trump. Most people are in the center. So how are you going to try to steer the party away, if it's even possible, away from agenda and more back towards principle?
Well, I'm not sure what you're talking about with center, because I don't see that in this country. I mean, if you were to bring our founding fathers back, I mean, they're further to the right than I am, and that's the foundation of this country. Yeah, because what you find in the center, like the center of the road, you find a yellow streak and dead carcasses, and most people aren't in the middle. Most people are to the right, which, in my opinion, my humble opinion, is where we need to be, is to the right. We need to have less government, which isn't middle of the road. We need to have much less government. We need to have, the government needs to be in so much less control of what's taking place in our country right now.
I agree with that.
So that's not centrist. I believe that people that what's in the womb, scientifically as well as spiritually, is a living human being, and according to the Constitution, we all have the right to life, and so what's in the womb has a right to life. What I don't understand is why they protect an eagle egg, but they won't protect the fetus, what they call as a fetus. And so I believe that there's certain things that are to the right that need to be to the right. I believe we all have the right to a gun to protect ourselves. I believe that we have the right to protect others if we see someone in distress, to go help them out and not be worried about having to go to jail, because we fought to defend somebody who is weaker than ourselves. All these things are to the right. They're not centrist views. I don't know any centrist views. There isn't anything that I know of that's centrist views. I know that small business is the backbone of this country, and I know because of monopolies that they're going slowly but surely out of business. And that is one of the things that our government is actually supposed to be involved in is to prevent monopolies from happening. I'm working with a couple of mom and pop restaurants right now to try to stop that because of because Cisco is trying to buy out Restaurant Depot. There's just so many things that the government should be involved in that kind of they wash their hands of, and so many things that they shouldn't be involved with, like welfare. That's the people. That's the churches should be taking care of that. And there's so many things that they shouldn't be doing that they are doing. And none of those are really centrist points of view. And you're right about one thing, though. The Democrats are fed up with what the Democrat Party is doing. They're fed up with this transgender stuff and all this kind of flaky stuff that's going around. They're not supporting that. And they're more like JFK Democrats, which, if you remember JFK, who said, ask not what your country can do for you, ask what you can do for your country. That's a Republican point of view. And that's not a centrist point. That's a Republican point of view, is we need to be helping our country. We need to be doing things for our country, not expecting our country to take care of us. And that's the problem. That's why taxes are so high, is because the government's taking care of so many people that it needs more taxes.
I guess maybe I wasn't expressing myself clearly, but I'm not necessarily meaning that people are more centrist. I think, to me, it just seems like, again, when the Democrats were basically hijacked with their extreme party.
They've been hijacked by the Socialist Party.
Well, that's what I mean. They were pushed back. The country said, no, let's move away. Let's move away from there. So it's to me, it seems like you go too extreme on one side. Most of the people have common sense, and they say, no, let's push it back a little bit.
Wait a second, you said common sense. You said that on the air. That's one of those things that I thought that was one of those things that we weren't allowed to say on the air, which we weren't allowed to cuss. Using those 4-letter words. And common sense is one of those vulgar words, I think. So common sense left this country a long time ago.
Yes, but I'm going to do my best to make a comeback. But it just seems like,
amen to that.
Yeah, I mean, again, because they're not with the extreme left. The majority of the people said, no, we're not buying it, and so pushed it back a little bit. Because if you think about it, no one since Obama, nobody has been reelected, or at least not right away. Not Trump lost his first reelection, Biden lost this reelection, so it just seems like we're kind of going back and forth a little bit. And you think about Reagan got 2 terms. Well, Bush Sr. didn't, but Ross Perot.
Bush Sr. is the only one that didn't get
right.
And Trump got 2 terms. He just had a Biden in the middle of it, and I mean,
right. But I'm saying, like,
everybody knows what happened there.
Well, consecutively, but so you had Obama had both consecutive terms, and then Bush Jr. consecutive terms. But it just seems like, I think I'm trying to be optimistic, and I think that a lot of people are just paying more attention, and they're realizing, no, we're not buying it. Okay, we'll give you a chance. Okay, no, we're not buying it. Let's try the other way. But
people are not paying more attention, James. I can tell you that right now. Out here, people are not paying enough attention. Yeah. I think we all pretty much know that Joe Biden didn't win that election. There was a lot of fishy stuff going on, and I've seen the evidence, so I know. I don't want to go into detail about it, but there was a lot of shenanigans that went on, a lot of evidence, and that's the only reason that Trump, and there was a reason. God does everything for a reason. He allows things to happen for a reason, and it was to wake us up. In 2020, people woke up in this country. Christians did it at least a little bit, and which is amazing, because 2020 is perfect vision, so that would figure that's how God would work. But the point is the left has gone crazy. The right has had too many Democrats who have infiltrated the Republican Party intentionally, and that's why the Republican Party has moved more to the center, is because of the Democrats that are in it. And so we have got to be better at vetting our people. We need to be better at, same thing with this country. You know, our founding fathers said, if you don't assimilate to America's ways within 5 years, we're going to ship you back. You know, and that means we have to speak our language. There's just one flag, you know, and there was no hyphenated Americans. They did not want a African American, Asian American, Italian American. They wanted you to be an American or leave the country. And that's how it is. That's how it was. And we've gotten away from that. And the Republican Party got away from vetting the people who come in to their party. We just want everybody to come in, and we think that the numbers is great. And numbers is good, but, you know, numbers are only good if those numbers agree with you. Unity is not uniting with anything. The idea of unity is uniting with a specific ideal. And, you know, if you're going to, it's like the liberal Democrats and the conservative Republicans, it's let's unite. Well, I mean, there would be such a clash that, you know, it would probably make a nuclear explosion look like a firecracker if those two guys got together and united. There's just no way for them to unite, and they shouldn't.
Do you think you know, when I've been making phone calls, many people have never heard of you, and
I've never heard of Carrie Buck either.
A lot of people, more people have heard of her though. More people
have heard of her.
But you're right. So, and I think, well, I mean, I think the next time around, hopefully you win, but the next time around, we need to have debates. We need to have town hall meetings.
But people are going to, when you're the anointed candidate, you're not going to do that.
Yeah.
And by the way, the statistics for you on, you know, there is probably 75, I would say 60% of the people hadn't heard of me, and 50% of the people hadn't heard of her. And so it wasn't that big a difference. And for a sitting state senator, that says something.
Yeah.
So it's just which goes to your point. Is anybody paying attention to what's going on? And I think the answer is no. And, you know, and eventually people are going to have to really start focusing on what's going on, or they're going to lose their country. It's going to have to eventually happen, bro, or, you know, America is going to be Venezuela.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm very concerned about that too. I mean, what would be, so for those out listening, what's your uniqueness? What are you going to do differently? How are you going to handle the donor class, the big bucks, or what they call the swamp? Because it seems like politicians go to Washington, they give us lip service. Yeah, I'm fighting for you. Yeah, and then they listen to the donor class, the ones that give them millions of dollars instead of the regular person chipping in $5-10. What are you going to do? So for those who've never heard of you specifically, what are your plans to help not just Nevada but the whole country?
The thing I've always told people is I'll be available. 2, what I tell you is what I will do. And so what I'm tired of is I'm tired of candidates saying they're this to certain people and to that. You know, they'll tell pro-life people I'm pro-life. They'll tell pro-choice people they're pro-choice. They'll say I'm for smaller government to people who are, you know, I'm tired of the lying. And one thing that I will always be is accountable. I'm accountable to the Father in heaven, which is probably the highest accountability that can be given. Amen. I will not lie to anybody. When I intentionally lie, I will ask you to keep me accountable. If I do not do the things that I say that I'm going to try to do, I can't do anything, you know, without support from other people. There's 435 people in Congress, so I can't do anything without their help. But what I can guarantee you is I would rather not get something I have passed than agree to compromise my values to get something that I want passed later on by compromising something else. In other words, hey, if you vote for this, I'll help you with this. If I don't believe in what they want me to vote for, what they want me to do, I'm not going to vote for it. I'm not going to compromise in that way. Compromise, every time you compromise, you give a little bit of yourself away. And I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to give myself away. When I get to, before the pearly gates of heaven, when Jesus does his judgment, I want him to say, well done, my good and faithful servant. I don't want him to say, well, hey, you did a good job of compromising.
That's good. That's good to hear. And I appreciate that. And again, that may not be a popular opinion around the swamp, but it's popular with our Lord and Savior and with the good people of this nation. So I'm glad to hear that. So because again, it goes back to I mean, it's funny, the women in sports thing, not at least for Nevada, I know they're all Democrat representatives, not one of them voted to protect women's sports.
No.
And I thought to myself, are you kidding me? I mean, that's just one example of what people just loathe in politics. At least be honest with us. At least be honest with yourself. You tell me one Democrat would not want to vote for, because they're loyalty to the party instead of the people.
No, it's their fear. It's their fear of upsetting somebody who might give them a lot of money. It's their fear of not being accepted as tolerant. It's their fear. And what does the Bible say about fear? God does not give us a spirit of timidity. He gives us a spirit of power and strength. And the Democrats have fear. They have fear of not being reelected because they want power, and that's what they want. That's all they want. That's it.
Right. Which goes back to term limits, open primaries.
Well, because I'm for term limits. I signed the term limit pledge. I'm all for it.
Good, good.
I mean, I don't know that it'll ever come up for election. I mean, I certainly would sponsor it and co-sponsor it, and I'm all for it. I used to think that people in this country, you said common sense earlier, I used to think people had the common sense that was term limits. And I realized that people don't, they don't pay attention enough to actually be trusted with that, unfortunately. And so therefore they are uneducated voters. Doesn't mean they're stupid, doesn't mean they're ignorant or anything. It doesn't mean they could have a college degree. It means they're not educated on who's running and what they stand for. And that's what an educated voter is. That's what our founding fathers said. We must have an educated electorate for our country to remain safe. And otherwise you're going to vote for the most popular, the name you've heard of, the one who's got the most money. Just think that right now in our country, the Geico Gecko probably has more chance of getting elected than anybody else because he's got name recognition and a lot of money.
Well, that's the thing. That's the thing. Again, many people have never heard of you. Many people have never heard of Carrie Buck, although more people have heard of her than you. And yet we don't have debates. We don't have town hall meetings. They're not on the screen for people to see and to see them in action. And
again that's fear. James, that's fear. That's fear of giving me viability. That's fear of, giving me name recognition by doing that. And that's the fear. And that's the game they play. Right. And until we stop voting for that game, it's going to continue. I believe that God's in control. I believe God's will is going to be done in this election. And I believe that God's will is for me to win. And guess what happens if I win? Because of everything that's gone against us, it could only have been God's intervention. And God gets all the glory, and that's what God wants, and this is the glory.
Absolutely. I appreciate that. And on that note, we're going to go ahead and wrap up. But
okay,
people,
I've got to run. People are after me all the time. They're coming, knocking on my window. And
okay, I was going to plug my James. I'm on LinkedIn, James Pasuch Communications, and Facebook. Go ahead and tell people where they can contact you.
You just go to blockeyforcongress.com, blockeyforcongress.com. It's blockey, the number 4, congress.com. And they can email me through that, and give me their phone number, and I will call them. And I'm there for you guys. I'm there for anybody who wants to talk about things, because I want to hear what you have to say. If we disagree, you're not going to change my view on being pro-life, and I'm probably not going to change your being a pro-choice, but I will talk about it with you, and I will discuss any issue with you. I will do what I can to help this country become strong again, especially if you're a small business. I want to be there for you. And so you contact me. James, I really want to thank you for all the help. You've been one of the better phone callers for me, and I just really appreciate you. I want you to know that.
I enjoy it. I think it's very fulfilling, and I'll do my part to help out, and I appreciate that, and I appreciate you. And again, I want to appreciate you for taking the time to do this, and I want Guy to definitely take the time to appreciate this channel. And let's go ahead and wrap up. So, thank you very much.
God bless.
Thanks, guys, for bringing your perspective to the marathon today, and wish you all the best, Jim, and your candidacy, and keep up the amazing work, James. You enjoy your Memorial Day weekend. Hope you spend a lot of great time with your family, and look forward to reconnecting with you on shows here at prconnectionsradio.com, the voice of new media. Take care of yourselves.
Voting is more than just a right, it's a powerful tool for change. Every vote counts and every voice matters. Voting protects your rights and helps to build a better future. And it's a way to hold our leaders accountable. Voting isn't just about the big elections either. Local elections impact our daily lives. It is important to study the candidates and the issues in order to make an informed decision. Don't sit it out. Your vote is your power. PR Connections Radio thanks you for watching this podcast. Check out more episodes of this show and our others at prconnectionsradio.com.